Yeah, really good team performance tonight. Always hard to beat teams on their senior night, this kind of atmosphere. I give our players a lot of credit. We did the things that we felt we had to do. We really strongly emphasized the turnovers this week, knew we had to have a game where not just hanging on to it offensively and getting them defensively, but doing that in sync in one game. Let's have a game where we can dominate the turnover battle completely. It was a huge challenge to our guys. They certainly responded there. And then I thought we played off of each other well. Very, very complimentary on the night, building on each other's momentum, capitalizing after turnovers. When we needed key stops, we got them. When we needed key drives, we scored points. And so proud. Thanks, Clark. Just proud of our guys, the way they played, the way they responded. This is always a tough game, rivalry game, heated, all that it should be. And, just hats off to our guys. Played a really, really complete game.
Thinking that you held the running game in check, Hubbard didn't get close to what he needed or anything. Talk about your defensive play, especially against University.
Yeah, I thought he had a little bit of room early. I made a few adjustments, settled in a little bit, fit the run a little bit better as the game went on. Thought the D-line was, again, pretty disruptive. There wasn't too many, clean running lanes, especially after that first quarter. And, and then a few times he did get loose. We did a good job of getting him on the ground, and we didn't let him, he didn't pop his long was a 22, and that's, he told us that for the game, we'd have taken it.
How big was this turnover early on? Set you guys up for a touchdown. It seemed to really set you going.
Yeah. No, it was huge. It was just great momentum, and then I don't know. There was just that feeling all night. It just every other play felt like we were going to get one. And we even had the one that on the tough call that got overturned. We had several, and then that were huge. That one kind of to get one early though is always big, and I think our guys were really aggressive at the ball all night.
I think the night that Parnell had, I don't think we've seen a night like that from a defensive back since people were winning little trophy men around here. Just what he's been through for you, what this meant to see him kind of have that night as well.
Yeah, and did it against good receivers in a big time environment. Yeah, he was awesome. I mean the pick, the strip, tackled well, covered well. They went at him with a lot of double moves, and he was in great position. I thought he really trusted his technique, really throughout the entire game. Made a lot of big plays. They gave him a lot of opportunities, and he certainly responded. You could tell he wanted the ball thrown his way tonight, and that's how what we've been pressing upon our guys. That's how you have to play that position. I mean, that's how you have to play any position. If you don't want the ball your way or don't want a chance to make the play or to block, then you're not the right guy to be out there. And he wanted it coming his way tonight and was ready and trusted his technique and made a lot of huge plays.
How happy were you to see him get that last interception that might have been a little bit of a payback?
Yeah, no, it was. It was fitting. It was fitting because he made such a great play on the other one. And you couldn't tell on the other one. The replay certainly in the stadium looked like there was green in between his feet, but I don't know. I'm sure in the booth there they had some different looks for them to overturn it. It must have been pretty conclusive. So it was great for him to make it, and very fitting for the kind of night he's had. And really, he's been, very steady for us all year.
Lincoln, you guys, Kennedy Brooks, you relied on him a lot the last few weeks. What can you say just about the way he's performed for you guys and what he's meant?
Very steady, very steady. Just continues to be him. He's not missing cuts. Very in sync with our offensive line. He's been so close to popping his kind of standard 60, 70 yarders. I mean, there was, I swear, like 5 tonight that we were like, it's out, and so, but despite that, he's had a lot of big runs. He's held onto the ball, great ball security, and he always kind of gets what's there, always. He doesn't ever really leave much on the table, and then occasionally gets some that maybe aren't there, which is a good characteristic for a running back to have.
On Brooks, big game for him tonight. Really, Jalen has carried the obviously spotlight for much of the season. How important is it to have him develop as he is the last few weeks, especially tonight, to make your team more multi-dimensional?
Yeah, pretty much all the same things I just said. I mean, he's ran well. He's been a really good player for us for a long time, and no surprise he's playing the way he is. It's really key for us right now. Always important to be able to run the ball well late in the season, November, December games, and he was certainly big tonight.
Jake 44 rushes. Going into this game, did you expect to have that spirit?
No, I don't know. I just kind of let the game, we just kind of let it unfold. Certainly the conditions were a factor. I mean, there's no doubt they probably were for both teams. I mean, it was not easy to throw the ball, and not only, I mean, there was a lot of wind, but then on top of that, it moved so much. Wind is hard by itself. When it is moving and it's unpredictable wind, then it's even tougher. And the wind was certainly a big factor, kicking game, throw game, all that. So, and then we just, once again, we're running it so well, it's hard to stop.
Lincoln Jalen made history tonight, catching, throwing, and running for a touchdown. Tommy McDonald was the only other guy that did it.
Really?
How do you
cool.
think he played? He seemed to play within himself more than maybe in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he played well. Very good decision making. Ran the ball well. Saw the field well. I thought he played honestly a lot like last week, minus his ball security as far as carrying it was better. And he threw the ball a little bit better tonight. He had a couple last week that he just barely missed, but he was sharp mentally last week too. So I thought he played really well.
Lincoln, the 11-play drive there in the third quarter,
Yeah.
6 minutes. It was, I think OSU had just cut the lead to 4. Can you take us through those 11 plays? And I think it was 9 runs, 2 passes. Is that kind of what you're looking for in dominating?
You want me to recite all 11? I maybe could. No, it was big. It was those drives that just tend to define games this time of year, where we had got some stops, had some momentum, and if you were kind of sitting there and just what would be the perfect scenario right now, that's what you'd say, go on a long drive, chew up a bunch of clock, wear them down, and we did that. And no, it was big, especially because we didn't have a very good drive there the first drive of the third quarter. That was really the first drive of the game that wasn't successful. I think we scored on all 4 first-half possessions. And so to come back after that and getting the stop, playing complimentary once again, and drive it down was huge. Yeah, controlled the clock, and we did a good job once we got inside the 10-yard line of finishing.
You hadn't had to do that this year, that long sort of methodical drive, 11 plays, 12 plays tonight. The fact that you haven't had to do it, and then when you needed it, you got it. What do you think?
Well, it's been I'd say the last few years, it's been a key part of us, being able to play well at the end of the year and ultimately win this league is being able to have those. And we've had several of those later in the seasons. I can think of all 4 of the championship years and games where we've had to do that and we've been able to do it. And tonight's another one. You always get to that point. I don't care how good you are throwing the ball. There's always going to be points where for your team, and especially it seems to be late in the season where you got to have drives like that and you have to be able to do it. And to be able to do it, we've been able to do that last couple of weeks, and it's been really big. And to do it in this environment tonight was huge.
What's your first reaction to playoff talk? After this game, did you do enough? You still got one more left, obviously, but have you done enough to move up, do you think?
We're just going to try to beat Baylor next week.
Lincoln, you've had
We asked you a lot about tailback carries and Kennedy Brooke carries 4 or 5 weeks ago. And he's gotten a lot more here the last few weeks. I mean, is that an emphasis that you've made, or is that just sort of the way that it's played out?
I was just taking y'all's suggestion.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I mean, is that a point you've made, or is that something that's just sort of happened that way?
I mean, I think some of it's been just the way the games have gone here as of late. I think some of it is this what was a new, inexperienced offensive line is starting to come together and do some really, really good things. And then I think settling in on Kennedy as the feature back has been part of it. So, no, we've always wanted to get him involved. Like I've said, there's going to be points in the season where we're going to have them, we're going to need them, we're going to use them like that. And we've seen it the last several weeks, and he and our offensive line have done a really nice job with the run game.
You think is he fresher because of the fact that
Probably,
he's fresher now
yeah.
that he-
Yeah, I would say he's probably just fresher than most other backs across the country. A lot of our guys are, and it helped us tonight. It'll help us going forward.
Lincoln, for the first time in 4 weeks, you didn't have to sort of sweat one out. You've had to have late. You've You've stopped late rallies by TCU and Iowa State to preserve wins. You've had a historic comeback to beat Baylor. Tonight you didn't have to sort of have late stops and so forth. I know you mentioned that turnovers were key stops, key drives. Were there some other factors you feel like enabled you to not have to sweat one tonight?
I think you covered it. I think you covered it. Yeah, I mean, winning the turnover margin, like we did, it certainly allowed us to separate. Controlling the line of scrimmage offensively allowed us to separate. So, yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, it's fun. I mean, the other ones are fun too, but certainly nice to win one with a little bit of a comfortable margin.
Parnell obviously played a good game, but it kind of overshadows the two freshmen, Lee Benito, David Wade.
Yep.
They have massive games off the edge. Can you kind of talk about their growth since John Michael?
Yeah, it's been important since John Michael got hurt. He was kind of our bell cow there and leader and kind of the steadying force. And those are two young guys that flash so much that you just want them to do it more consistently. And I thought they stepped up and did that. They both had some big plays. They do a good job of challenging each other for reps, keeping each other fresh, kind of feeding off of each other. And they're two very, very talented guys that are going to get better and better quickly. And I thought they both showed up. I mean, you could feel their presence out there tonight.
It seems like if Mike was just having fun with you on Monday, but he was talking about how much Jalen had been carrying the ball, and he called you guys kind of a wishbone offense. And at one point, he called it a one-man show. Did you ever hear that comment? Did that ever get back to you?
Yeah, I didn't agree a whole lot with the one-man show thing, but that's, however we get defined, as long as, as we're winning and offensively we're scoring enough points to win, that's all I care. I think, our quarterbacks have been successful over the last several years. Jalen's no different, but we've, you look at what our other players have done, O-line, running backs, tight ends. We've won a Blitnikoff, Mackey. We've had an All-American receiver, tight end every single year that we've been here. We've got a litter of offensive linemen playing in the NFL with more to go. So, we got a good group. All these guys contribute to it. It's certainly not a one-man show. The wishbone comment, I took that as a complete compliment. I think it's one of the great offenses ever. It means you're spreading the ball around, you're physical, getting your playmakers the ball in space and letting them play. So I thought he was spot on.
Are you comfortable or satisfied with kind of how harmonic the offense is right now as far as where you're spreading it and distributing it?
I think you're constantly evolving. I mean, there's a lot of things we're doing really, really well right now, and we can still play a whole lot better too. So we're excited about that. I know our best is still out there, and we're chasing it, but we're definitely taking some big steps.
It seems like the offensive line is starting to hit its stride here heading into the finish. How important is that, especially in the next week against Baylor?
Yeah.
The physical defensive line.
Yeah, no, it's important. It's important. That's what we've kind of counted on the whole way, that if we could survive early there a little bit, especially with all the injuries and different lineups we had, and those guys could continue to grow up, that we might be prepared to play pretty good here at the end. So it's teed up for us.
You were asked about that 11-play drive. When you all did that 11-play, 6-minute drive, did you kind of sense you all kind of really grasping the whole ball game?
Yeah, no, it was one of those moments that you felt like, man, if we can go take this down here, we got a chance to really take control of it. I mean, you felt it, and the importance, it was the importance of the situation at that point. Knew it was going to be very critical to the end result.
Anything else? Yeah, Lincoln, can you speak about the abominable football played down in Alabama, 48-45?
What was it?
Well, it just no defense played.
Yeah.
You got to come to Stillwater.
Yeah.
For good defense.
Yeah, it's a travesty, isn't it? Yeah.